Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to my Dune Awakening content. So today I wanted to go in and play with the character creator and the benchmark tool so that I could get myself a character ready to go so that on launch day I can jump right in and not have to spend hours in the character creator, because I want to be able to hit the ground running the minute the early access starts. I want to get right out there in the world. I want to start gathering resources and getting into leveling up so that I can skill up and level up as fast as possible. So I really think it's cool that the character creator gives us the ability to get in here and do some stuff ahead of time. So I went with a funky little body tattoo, this one right here, and that's the only real tattooing that I want on my character. I don't want a character that's all tatted up, but I did opt for the highest height that I could get and a little bit more of a musculature on him. I wanted a heavier frame, and with the attire on, that's how big he's going to look. For the type of body style that I got, that was about as, as fit as I wanted to make him. For the face options, I decided to go with something different. This is going to be the character that I'm going to be using in my videos and stuff like that, so I don't want it to just be a normal brown-haired, brown-eyed human. I want something just a little bit different. I'm not really into the Harkonnen look, and I kind of wanted to go more human looking, but I wanted to do something cool like maybe some blue hair. So I've decided to go with the blue hair and the mutton chops on my character with the blue eyes, and I think that's going to be kind of unique so that when you see me in my videos, you'll know, at a glance, you'll be able to recognize my character in all the content that I'm going to make in Dune going forward. So I really kind of like this. This is going to be Mirandus. This is going to be my namesake as a character. I'm going to name it after obviously my handle of my channel, Mirandus Crafter. This is going to be Mirandus. So there we go. So what I want to do though in this video is I want to talk to you about the next set of options that you're presented with when you go to finish your character, because these choices are kind of a little interesting as far as where you're from and all that kind of stuff. But what I really want to look at and discuss is the starting abilities, and that is going to be a tough choice, I think, but I think I've got it figured out to what I want as my starting abilities. So let's finish this character and let's go through the rest of the character creation stages. The Reverend Mother, have they told you what I am? Yes.
Then I will sift your words for lies. Let's begin.
Okay, let's do it.
Where were you born?
So, the idea that I've had for my character going forward in the game, I want to pursue kind of a mentat kind of mentality, technologically experienced and things of that nature. So I think I'm going to choose the foreboding ice world, mountain, tundra, and forest. The Ixians conceal their vast technological empire within sprawling underground cities. And the dialogue trait is going to be technologist, because that's what I want to kind of play as, a technically advanced humanoid. With the unique emote will be the forbidden secret, and I don't know what that is because I've never seen it, so I'm not really sure what it is, but this is going to be the choice that I make for my home world.
The machine world. They skirt dangerously close to breaking the prescriptions of the Butlerian Jihad.
The machine world.
The order of the Imperium is rooted in the Farfaluches. A place for every man, and every man in his place.
Where is your place? I think I'm going to choose the Na Familia, so that I can come at this from a caste reserved for essential members of a noble household. The Na Familia are afforded certain privileges and protections by their status, and the dialogue trait that I will espouse will be nobility.
Did you give bad advice? Or make a bad deal? To be close to power is to walk the knife's edge.
All right, let's walk the knife's edge.
You had a mentor
Okay.
in your youth, trained by one of the schools.
Who was your mentor? This is a tough question. Because if you'll notice, in the description of each one of these starting mentors or starting basic classes, what you start with, you get the ability to show some training, direction, and a starting ability. Now, the starting ability is what I want to focus on in this video. I want to talk about these different starting abilities because some of these things sound like they could really hinder you or help you progress at the start of the game. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you choose the Sword Master, it looks like you're going to have training in close quarters aggression. Okay, that can be great. That can help you fight, and that's cool because you're going to be doing a lot of fighting in this game. So that's cool. Keep in mind, however, that you will be able to unlock all the skills later. But this is the choice you're going to make at the start. And who knows how long it will actually take you to be able to get out in the world and find these other mentors, which will allow you to then do some quests, which may take a little while to complete them, and then come back and receive the reward of unlocking those other skill paths. So I kind of think that what you choose here at the start needs to reflect your play style that you envision yourself having when you go to get into the game, okay? So for this one, I think the starting abilities are going to be really crucial, especially to you at launch, because like I said, later on you can unlock them all, and then you can kind of pick or choose just based on whatever situation you find yourself in. But at the start of the game, what's going to benefit me at the start of the game more? Is it going to be the Sword Master with a starting ability of deflection, which you enter a defensive stance to deflect dart attacks? Okay, that's cool if you are in a situation where you're fighting against somebody that are using darts. Those little electronic flying things that kill people, I guess, is what they're meaning. I mean, that's cool, but how useful is that really going to be? Only in certain situations. So it kind of doesn't seem like this is a good choice to me, unless the training matters more, and then it could be, I guess, but I'm not really sure. Now let's look at the Bene Gesserit. The Bene Gesserit Acolyte is physical mastery and manipulation for training, okay? The starting ability is the voice, the compel. Use the voice to force someone towards your position from afar, okay? So if you're going to jump right into combat and you need to get them drawn to you so that you can do some more skills and do your work on them, maybe that is, maybe that is useful. I'm not sure. Let's look at the next one. Let's skip on down. Well, let's look at the next one. Mentat. Mentat is what I personally want to eventually shape myself towards. The training is recon and strategy. That's really super cool because I think that's going to help you in things like trying to make your maps, things like that, knowing more about the enemies before you engage, being able to do some scans and kind of see what they do and what they know and what they have, possibly, that type of thing. I think that's going to be very useful. The starting ability, however, the Sentinel. Deploy a suspensor buoyed dart projector that uses motion detection to cover a field of fire. So that right there does sound very useful. It sounds like that is the turret deploying ability, I think. It's either deploying the turret or it's that can then shoot at enemies within a certain radius of fire. Or that's that little flying dart thing that we see attacking people and killing them. It's either one. I'm not really sure which one that is. That could be pretty useful. So out of the 3 that we've looked at so far, I think that's probably the most useful skill at this point. But here is what I'm talking about next. And I think that this is hands down the best choice at the start. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that you can eventually move into whatever you want and you can shape your character into whatever the situation demands. But at the start, the trooper sounds really good. The training is in offense and demolition, okay? That's kind of generic to where I guess you're good at fighting and you're probably going to be throwing grenades or setting mines or something like that. That sounds good because that's going to be what you're doing is fighting, and possibly the demolition could play into resource gathering as well. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. But the starting ability on this one is what I think hands down probably the best choice, because if you've seen any of the videos, you've seen the characters throw the sugar wire and then draw themselves to that spot. That is insanely awesome for travel, for you to be able to get around and get to places that other people will not be able to get around. So if this means that as a trooper, you're the only one that can do that sugar wire cable travel mechanic, I think that means that you choose this, honestly, if you want to know the truth, because at the beginning of the game, it's going to be all about getting out there and getting those resources, exploring, finding things that are hidden, finding people that are hidden, NPCs and all that kind of stuff, getting to these places and being able to do those things. And if you're a person that can't use the mobility of the sugar wire cable to be able to get yourself to those locations and travel quickly and all those kind of things, I think that really hinders you at the start. I think your progression is going to be tied to, at the start, how fast you can gather resources and how fast you can get to places that you need to be, so that you can quickly advance through those initial stages and get yourself to a place where you can then find NPCs to learn some of these other skills as the need arises for you to have those other skills. But I think this right here is going to be hands down your best choice. Based from what I've seen from these videos of actual gameplay, the travel mechanic that the sugar wire cable enables you to be able to do is just amazing. I mean, yes, I know that we do not have the repulsor belts at the start, more than likely. I do not know how hard those are going to be to craft and what, requirements you're going to need to craft one of those. But in combination with the sugar wire, that is just amazing travel capability. But even if you don't have the repulsor belts at the start, just the ability of being able to launch yourself and drag yourself and pull yourself and use that sugar wire to stun enemies, I've heard you can do in one of the developer diaries. I think this is by no short of the imagination, this is probably your best choice right here. So this is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the trooper at the start so that I can have the ability to do the sugar wire cable and the training in offense and demolition. So I think that's the best choice.
Retired with full honors or a missing limb. The test is almost complete.
Have you spoken the truth? And then I guess if you say I wish to recant, you get to go back and change. But I have spoken the truth because I think that I've made the best choice.
Come here. Kneel.
Kneel.
put your hand in
And
the
for
box.
fun, we'll go ahead and finish this out because it's so cool.
I hold at your neck the Gonjabar, the high-handed enemy. Don't pull away or you will die. Great plots are afoot in the Imperium, and the currents of intrigue run deeply. Arrakis is the key, and the Fremen are missing. You will go to Arrakis as our agent, prisoner. You have one task. Find the Fremen. Wake the sleeper. Everything depends on this. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, Reverend Mother.
Good. You speak truth.
Oh, she
But here is
believes
the
me.
rest of it. There is only one rule. Keep your hand in the box and live. Withdraw it and die. An animal would gnaw off its own hand to escape the pain. And we can only be served by humans. Find the Fremen.
Wake the sleeper.
You will know when it is done.
All right, folks, so that was my little thing about some of the choices that you have to choose for starting skills. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it got you a little bit more hype for the game as we talk about more and more of these things that we hope we're going to be able to do in game. If this content was entertaining to you or you possibly learned something, think about subscribing and liking the content so that I can push it out to a greater audience. That would help me greatly and I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to tick the bell so that you can get notified when I make more Dune Awakening content so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you being here with me today. I'll see you in another video about Dune Awakening coming soon. Peace.